All right, let's get into it. We're going to break down one of the realest books ever written about money. And the main idea is kind of wild. Getting rich has way less to do with how smart you are and everything to do with how you act.
So, let's play a quick game here. Imagine two different guys. On one side, you've got Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant from rural Vermont. And on the other side, Richard Fiscone, a Harvard-educated, high-flying Merrill Lynch executive. The whole 9 yards.
Now here's the twist. One of these guys, after living this crazy lavish life, went completely broke. The other guy? He quietly built up an $8 million fortune. So, who do you think was who?
Yeah, you guessed it. It was the janitor, Ronald Reed. And that simple, shocking fact is the entire point of this book. It flips everything you think you know about money right on its head.
And that brings us to our very first big idea. Managing money isn't a hard science like physics. Nope, it's a soft skill where your behavior is so much more important than your brains.
So here's the deal. Ronald the janitor was just patient. He saved a little here and there and consistently invested for decades. Meanwhile, Fiscone, the Harvard genius, got greedy, took on a ton of debt to buy a mansion with like 11 bathrooms, and got totally wiped out in the 2008 crisis. It's proof positive. Behavior beats brains every single time.
Okay, so what is it that drives our behavior with money? Well, it turns out every single one of us is living in our own little personal money bubble.
Think about that for a second. The stuff you've actually seen with your own eyes is a tiny, tiny slice of financial history, but it makes up like 80% of how you think the world works. It's what feels real to you. And this shows it perfectly. Look, if you were born in 1970, the stock market went up tenfold when you were a teenager. You'd probably think stocks are the best thing ever. But if you were born in 1950, the market went absolutely nowhere during those same years. You'd be way more cautious. The thing is, neither person is crazy. You just grew up in totally different worlds. And that's the point right there. The things you do with your money, whether it's saving every last penny or buying lottery tickets, it makes perfect sense to you because of what you've been through, even if it looks completely bonkers to somebody else.
All right, on to principle number 3. This one is all about the two most powerful forces in finance that we tend to ignore, the wild rolls of luck and its identical twin, risk.
I mean, take Bill Gates. The guy is a certified genius for sure. But his story started with a dose of absolutely insane luck. Back in 1968, he happened to go to one of the only high schools on the planet that had a computer. Seriously, what are the odds of that? A teenager in the 60s getting hands-on access to a computer. It was literally a 1 in a million shot. That wasn't just a head start, it was a completely different universe of opportunity.
But here's where luck's evil twin, risk, shows up. Gates had a best friend at that school named Kent Evans. He was just as brilliant, just as obsessed with computers. The two of them were going to conquer the world together. But Kent Evans got hit with the other side of that 1 in a million probability, 1 in a million bad luck. He died in a freak mountaineering accident before he even graduated high school.
And that's it, right there. Luck and risk are the exact same thing. They're just outcomes being guided by forces that are totally outside of your control. They're two sides of the same coin, and you have to respect both of them.
This brings us to maybe the most important lesson of all. Getting rich and staying rich are two completely different skills.
Let me tell you about Jesse Livermore. The guy was a master at getting rich. In the 1929 market crash, he made what would be $3 billion today. But he got arrogant, he took bigger and crazier risks, and just a few years later, he lost every single cent. He knew how to get money, but he had no idea how to keep it.
You see, staying wealthy is all about one thing: survival. It's about playing defense. It requires humility and this nagging, paranoid feeling that everything you've gained can be taken away from you just as quickly as you got it.
And speaking of survival, let's talk about the master, Warren Buffett. People focus on his skill, which is legendary, obviously, but his real secret weapon, his superpower, is just time. The man's been investing since he was 10 years old. He has just stayed in the game. And get this, of his $84.5 billion net worth, a whopping $81.5 billion of it was earned after his 65th birthday. That isn't just about making good picks. That is the insane, incredible power of compounding over a very, very long time.
So, when you put it all together, what does this all mean for you? It means building a totally new mindset about money. It's about remembering that how you act is way more important than what you know. It's recognizing that your personal experience is your truth. You got to respect both luck and risk. Make survival your #1 goal. And never, ever forget that time is your greatest asset.
Which leaves us with one final big question to ask ourselves. Your plan might look amazing on paper, it might be mathematically perfect, but is it built to survive the absolute chaos of the real world? Because things will get messy, they always do, and the real question is, can your plan take a punch?